Bitcoin has rejected once again from the 200-week moving average. Is this going to be a problem? And can altcoins still rally in this environment? I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking at, as well as a bunch of altcoin setups. So start dropping in the comment section below what you want to see charted in terms of altcoins, because we're going to go through that together on today's show. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. And what I am looking at over here is the weekly chart. You can see the massive rejection off of the 200-week moving average, as well as the strong horizontal. A big push through this area. And I did mention to you guys yesterday that a daily close below that key level of resistance, which is at 25,395, would technically be bearish if we close below there. And we did. But I'm going to show you, as long as certain levels hold and we can kind of consolidate sideways, there is the possibility that prices can still hold up and you can potentially make another assault through this level, at least from the bulls perspective. But that needs to happen soon. It needs to happen very soon if we are going to look at the upside potential move. So the plan remains the same. High time frame, not much has changed over here. You can see the yellow 21-week moving average over here, or EMA at least, is still holding up. We had that massive rejection off of the swing failure pattern over here, reclaiming the support. So everything was looking bullish. I still would say that the ball is in the bulls' court currently and for the time being, meaning that they have the potential to push through. Remember, when you're dealing with such a key level of resistance or support like the 200-week, we know that's a super important one. It's unexpected that you're going to smash through it on the first or second attempt. This is now the third attempt that we've made at it, and we'll see. The week is still yet to close, right? We have 4 days and 18 hours left, and we'll see if price can push through on this level. When you look at the high time frame things, this is on the monthly, already starting to see good signs. Now, you do need a monthly close to solidify this, but I said to you guys before that as soon as you see the first time that the RSI ticks above and closes above that yellow moving average, that would be incredibly bullish. Every time that that's happened in the previous runs, the market has already proceeded to rally on towards the upside, and a massive run has followed after that. So that would give it enough momentum for that MACD to start to cross over. As you know, you have the stochastic RSI, which from a timing perspective, you can look at the previous bear markets. It held within that region for the same amount of time. This one is pretty similar to what we saw in 2015. Remember, 2015 had that double bottom, and what we've seen over here is quite similar. So moving on, what about the different MAs? This is the 4-hour chart from the legend trader who I learned a lot from. His name was 𝗨𝗪. He did pass away many years ago, but this was a trading strategy that he used using the 3, the 9, and the 30 moving average. And you put that on a 4, or you can use a 5-day chart, depending on how quickly you want to enter or exit the market. According to this, you would already be quite heavily invested in your positions if you are an investor. Once you have the yellow, which is going to be the 3 moving average cross above the green 9, you then have all MAs postured upwards, and you need to break convincingly and close above that pivotal level, right? So we have the strong horizontal. You guys know that level, 25,000. Once you have your first candle close there, so 4-day candle close above, with those MAs postured positively, meaning that you have the short above the medium above the long-term moving average, that is your signal to be fully long. As an investor, you would then want to be holding that position for weeks to months. So I've been guiding you guys along the way for a long time now, and this is what you're looking at. So if you have been sticking with the plan, let me know. I'm going to show you my plan. I've been sticking with the plan, and I'm reaping the fruits of my labor. So there is definitely a reward for that. Let me know in the comment section if you followed the plan. And what is the plan? Well, essentially, this was the plan, right? It was all based on the timing cycle. I'm now here to give you an update on what I've done over here. So very quick run through. I know some of you have been here for a long time and have heard this story. We're looking to capitalize on key horizontal levels using certain percentages of our portfolio. The allocation was this. 25% was going to be dollar cost averaged over an 18-month period. That's based on 18 months before the halving cycle, because Bitcoin always rallies into the halving cycle. And if it actually even starts rallying sometimes 1 year before the halving cycle, which is marked by this orange line. Okay. The other 25%, we divided up into 3 orders in the region of 8% with each order. We were planning on buying the dip with that. So the dip when the market was crashing with FTX, we were going to deploy 8% at key horizontals. We used the grid strategy on BitGet, whereby we deployed 8% here at 15,000. We spread those orders from 16,000 down to 15,000. So most of that got filled. The next 2 of the 8% orders to fulfill that 8%, the 25%, was set for much lower prices, which we never got to. That was set at 13,880, and then 10 to 12,000 was the final order. So we obviously didn't get there. So we got 8% of the 25% filled, right? Plus we have the 25% of the DCA that's been running regularly. That is on this over here on OKX. Okay, next, I entered 50% of my positions at 21,500, which is where I predicted that the next higher low would form, which we got over there. Of course, we had the USDC depeg. So USDC depegged. I was holding a lot of my capital in USDC. I posted a tweet. There it is. On that exact wick over there below. I didn't get the bottom of the wick at 19,564. I got it at 19,750. I converted all of my USDC for Bitcoin. So this is kind of the state of my positions. If you look at this over here closely, focus on the candle closes and not on the wicks over there. So of course we got the lows. Okay. This is where the next high low looked like it was going to be, which it was. Then we had the fake out. Basically, price came to the downside over there, definitely scaring a lot of people out their positions. But if you look at the candle closes, these candles still closed higher than those ones over there. So I'm continuing to hold my positions, and I am pretty much fully long at this point. Now, with regards to the title of the show, why I'm buying these altcoins, I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys why. We're not there yet, but basically Bitcoin still looks healthy and poised to move further towards the upside. So that's the state of this over here. I will update you if things start to change. Remember, you're looking from a timing perspective that any time just before, so here we have the previous cycle. If you look at this, here's the previous cycle. In relation to where we are now, timing-wise, we round about this region over here. Okay, as you can see, 1 year before the halving, you start to rally aggressively up. Yes, you had COVID, so price came back down. This was also influenced by, I forget what those guys were called. They were dumping coins. There was someone that had a massive Bitcoin hack, so call it a secondary version of Mt. Gox, and they were, I think it was +1. That was it. The +1 token scam. They were dumping these tokens of here. If it weren't for that, this probably would have continued into a bull run. But as you can see, timing wise, exactly on the halving event, price starts to rally. So that's what we're looking at over there. That's that cycle. Let's go to the previous one as another example for you. So the previous one was 2015. And you can see we're in a very similar phase, right? 2015, here we are. Let's have a look. Okay. Grab this. We kind of here, right? So is there a possibility that we come back down again, revisit the range lows? Of course, there's a possibility. We'll reevaluate if that happens. But as you can see, 1 year before the halving, exactly 1 year before, price starts to rally, it reaccumulates, and then going into that halving event, it goes absolutely parabolic. I'm not going to go all the way back to 2011, 2012. You guys get the picture. This is pinned to my Twitter account as well if you want to familiarize yourself with it. That is the plan. The plan has not changed. That's what I'm sticking with. Okay, next. The dollar cost average bots over here. This is on OKX. They are still running. There is a sign-up bonus, by the way. If you don't have an OKX account and you do want to run dollar cost average bots, I do recommend OKX. I think I've looked at a lot of them. There are other exchanges that offer it, so feel free to use one of the other exchanges too. But my personal opinion, I found OKX to be the easiest, most user-friendly. You can create multiple different portfolios over here. Remember, my main portfolios are these ones over here, the 1 year portfolios on the bottom. These are dollar cost averaging less aggressively. The rest of them over here, I've been dollar cost averaging incredibly aggressively, anticipating that we're going to have an extreme relief rally, possibly even transition the market into a bull run. So I'm going to make a decision at some point this week. I need to see how price reacts today. I will update you. Follow me on Twitter if you're not following me. If you're doing this exact strategy that I'm following, I will let you know if I end up closing these positions out. I do think that there's a possibility that for the next 2 to 3 days, we could potentially see a massive altcoin run. And I'll show you why when we get there. Okay, Gaussian channel. Wait for the close over here. We got 4 days and 18 hours left to close. As long as we close inside this channel, especially if we close above the candles over here on the left-hand side, so a higher closing basis over here, your next target remains the middle at 28,380. There you go, and 82. Let's just quickly get that away. So what I would say with regards to getting to that target, it really depends on how price gets to that target. If we rally too quickly into that level, I'll probably start scaling out of my positions, because when price moves up too quick, remember from bottom to top, we've already moved. Let's quickly grab the ruler. I think it's something like 38% or what? From bottom to the exact top, 35.3%. That's quite a big move. So if you move aggressively and you continue to move aggressively, and this week closes or wicks at least all the way to the top, that's already then a 45% move. At that point, I would 100% be considering to take positions off the table. If, however, we can consolidate and close above these previous candles, so closing anywhere above 24,272, I would see that as a bullish sign, and I'd look for next week to kind of consolidate within this region, just holding above 23 and closing another week above that level. I would say then you may as well keep holding your positions, because then you're going to likely rally all the way into April, into the next month. Next. Okay. Remember, you do also have the hash ribbons indicator over here. According to the hash ribbons indicator, every single time except for one, I believe, that you have a blue buy signal, which we got over here. Every time, okay, actually it was 2 times. Both were black swan events. One was the FTX collapse. Price then came below the previous blue buy signal, right? So once you get the blue buy signal, the previous low, the recent low that happened just before that, which should have been this one, would usually hold. Now you have an anomaly, right? You have that, and then you have the COVID lows as well, where you had a blue buy signal, and then the black swan event of COVID sent prices below the prior low. So you got a second one over here. That means these lows should hold. The lows are at 15,000. Let's see the local low, 15,500. According to the hash ribbons, basically, if price comes down, it's all an opportunity. Anything within this region that holds above those lows should become an accumulation zone and an opportunity. When you pair that up with the 𝗵𝗵𝗍 score over here, you can see all the previous market cycles. I'm not going to go back in the history, but all the previous market cycles look similar in their bottoming process. You have prices that come down, or at least this indicator comes down into the green zone. It gets into the deep discount territory. This is deep discount territory. And when it starts to reclaim above over here, that's your signal that it's time to get long, and you're potentially changing the trend over there. So that's what I'm watching over there. The dollar. The dollar is probably one of the only things that's a cause for concern for me at the moment, at least for Bitcoin, because look at the wicks over there. We're coming into a very key yearly level. Key yearly levels at 103.49 points. And you can see the wicks. Look at the demand kicking in, kicking in, kicking in. If you see a big spike up over here, then watch your next pink box zone, which is at 104.6. But a spike up in the dollar definitely could bring Bitcoin prices down. And there are certain levels that Bitcoin needs to hold. I'm going to give you those levels just now. Next. So one reason that altcoins could potentially start to catch a bid, especially if it gets above the red box over here, is if you look at total 2. Total 2 is Ethereum plus all the other altcoins, so minus Bitcoin. That's the market cap excluding Bitcoin. You can see over here, if you look at this chart, pretty much we had low highs, right? And we had a down trend line, down sloping trend line. So you came into that key zone, rejected. Came into the key zone, rejected. Then you broke through, and then you can see over here, you retested the downtrending or the downsloping trend line as support, bounced, as support, bounced. Now, that's not your signal to go long necessarily. It's just showing you that momentum is shifting within the market. This is now the key level to get above. Look at all the wicks that have come into this level. So wick into that level, big push up, wick into that level, eventually break it down. Then rejection over here, rejection, breaks through, support, pushes through. Okay, that one went straight through again, tested, so rejected, 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 rejected. Eventually, those rejections will flip and it will become support once again. The big thing is that once you do push through, once you do get total 2 to push through this level, then for the first time, you're going to make a higher high. Keep in mind, you're still range bound, right? So at the moment, you're holding above the mid-range. So think of it from a higher time frame perspective. This is also just a big range over here. But it still gives you little plays, right? If you see total 2 come down and it is holding the mid-range, probability of retesting how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be the 9th time. The probability is you're going to break through that level. And then you're going to the range high. That means that altcoins could potentially catch a bit. Let's look at total 3. So you're excluding Ethereum. You can see Ethereum, you know the flow of money, right? The flow of money, at least within the crypto market, is Bitcoin moves first, which we've seen. That always happens. Then Ethereum, which is why you can see total 2 is already picking up. And then after Ethereum, you have the other alts. Now you can see when you look at total 3, which excludes Ethereum and Bitcoin. So it's only the other alts, straight lower highs throughout. But if total 2 starts to push through, you're most likely going to see total 3 recapture above this level over here. Once it does that, that's when altcoins start to catch a bit. Now, a lot of the altcoins are in the buy zone. If you want those buy zones, my recommendation is go through to the Discord. It's really the easiest place that I can communicate with you. I also have my amazing team that helps me. These guys are top-notch traders, some of the best, and they help me to find these trades. And if you have a look over here, you got the trade setups. They've been dropped in here. We drop our P&Ls as well after the trade. So you can see here updates and analysis. Basically, every day we make profits. Every day there is profits. Take a look through there. Feel free to scroll through there. Now, for some of you, you may be new, wondering how do you get into the Discord? If you want to get into the Discord, you're going to have to go through to the link below and click Discord Hub. You need to get verified to get into the Discord because all that we ask, right? It's no secret. We basically get paid through the fees that you would anyway be paying on the exchange. So instead of you paying X amount to the exchange said, if we refer you, we get 20%, they keep 80%, just as an example. So make sure you come through to the Discord. You're going to need to use one of these links, Bybit, OKX, or BitGet. Speaking of BitGet, they do have a promotion. Maybe you can bring that up quick, Josh. They do have a promotion at the moment. I know a lot of you watching live are from the EU. So if you have a look over here, they have a deposit bonus that's currently coming up. Let me look at my very special important notes. So you're getting 0 fees and you can win up to $6,000. It says here, basically, if users who have not used bank deposits in GBP or euros before, they're eligible to get $10 rewards when they deposit more than $100 equivalent in your local currency. So basically, they're testing the fiat on-ramp. Remember, we're going through this. Okay, you can take it off, Josh. Remember, we're going through this operation choke point. So I assume what they want to do is test their new fiat on-ramp, off-ramp system. So feel free, if you are from Europe or Britain, make sure you send a deposit through. You can win up to $6,000 and there's no fees. Sweet. Okay, that part's done. Let's move on over here. Liquidity. Not just liquidity. Liquidity comes next. I want to focus on this. Every bull market, according to TED Talks over here, has commenced with a big spike in the Bitcoin dominance. As has every bear market. So you can have a look over here. 2017, bull market, massive spike in dominance. Bear market, big spike in dominance. Eco bubble of 2019, big spike. 2020 bull market, big spike. 2022 bear market, big spike. Now we have a question mark. And also, if you look at this, look at the switches, right? So you go bull market, bear market, little eco bubble over here, bull market, bear market. Is it going to be another eco bubble? There's a pattern that's forming there, right? A potential pattern. So if you look at the dominance, big spike. Same thing over here as what he's showing. Massive spike. I've correlated it with the prices as well at the range high. The important thing is that now you've started to close a massive bullish engulfing candle over here on the daily chart for the Bitcoin dominance. Yes, this candle doesn't look great, but as long as we can kind of consolidate and hold sideways for a little bit over here, then likely Bitcoin dominance continues towards the upside. Once you see that, right, remember the flow of money, Bitcoin dominance will eventually come down, and then you're going to look at altcoins rallying. So could it be a good time to accumulate altcoins? Possibly. I mean, that's what I've been doing. I've shown you the plan. It's right there. Here's the dollar cost average plan. So we do need to take it day by day. Everything there is currently in profit and continues to deploy. Every day it is deploying capital. Now, liquidity. The market is going to be heavily influenced by liquidity. If you look over here, you can see the liquidity is slowly starting to pick up. We've got a green line over here. It's changed from red to green, meaning liquidity is coming in. We need that level to break. Very, very important. We need this level to break, and not only just break and close like that. I mean, then it becomes a fake out. You come back down. We need to see this potentially hold for a couple of days. This is the 3-day chart, so multiple 3-day closes and hold above that level. The same thing is true over here. If you look at the People's Bank of China, it is slowly starting to pick up. And if you go to TED Talks over here on liquidity, he says here, China are adding liquidity again. The reverse repo injections are ticking higher after 2 weeks of nothing. And we literally had nothing, guys. That liquidity was bone dry. If you look at the liquidity chart, there was absolutely nothing. Will this trend continue? Let me know in the comments. I know you guys are alpha packed and super focused on Twitter. Maybe some of you have seen something around the liquidity, and if there is going to be a further injection of liquidity into the market. Here he says, taking a deeper look at the US dollar liquidity, the Treasury are now drawing down on their general account to fund operations, which is in brackets a liquidity injection. Money is flowing out of the Fed's reverse repo facility, which is a liquidity injection, and this outpaces what the Fed are doing with their quantitative tightening. So basically, as long as the global liquidity moves up, it doesn't really matter what independent liquidity is doing. As long as the broader liquidity is ticking on up, then think of it like a rising tide, right? Rising tide lifts all ships, all boats, all little ferries, all people floating on their lilos. Everything lifts up when liquidity goes up. So that is something to keep an eye out on. If this is just the start of a broader liquidity injection, then you can imagine how the market would rally. Okay, Ichimoku Cloud, we are slowly but surely starting to get the golden cross over here, which I'd like to see. I'd like to see also for the 2-day candle to pretty much just hold above the previous candle. As long as that happens, that cross will take place. And then more importantly over here, you can see that the DI positive, so the directional index is moving for the bulls towards the upside. And then we really want to see this average directional index start to tick on up, the blue one. We want that to curl on towards the upside, and hopefully that matches up with some nice liquidity coming into the market. Okay, looking at this chart over here, still has legs. Fisher distance from EMA still has legs to push on up higher. But yes, this candle does look a little bit concerning as a daily candle. I'm going to show you another chart as well, this one over here. You can see, right, parallel channel. It did move directly into the top of that. That is a clean rejection. Now, what that means is there's going to be a lot of stop losses up here, because this was quite easy to spot. I think a lot of people look at these parallel channels, very easy to see, right? Look at the resistance over here, almost tap that resistance. Then you have the middle. The middle's been holding very well as well. And then you have the bottom section over here, the bottom of that channel, which also it's a high confluence trade, matches up with the range high. You're getting a deviation above the range high, and you came back into the range. So it is quite bearish that it closed like that. Now, I'm going to say a few things over here. The important things are this. Let's just grab this. What I would like to see is I kind of want to see this level hold. If we can see, just quickly pull that across. If you can just see price hold above this level, and this level lines up as well with the middle of that channel, the middle of that parallel channel. If this level can convincingly flip into support, then the possibility is that the bulls are going to make another attempt at the highs. So maybe you see something like this. If you just kind of consolidate around here over the next couple of days, then I'd say you're probably going to get that big spike up to the upside. And then maybe you retest the top of this channel one more time. And then that is a more confident take profit zone or short zone for me, because it lines up with this order block over here, which led to the breakdown, which also happens to line up with all this underside resistance, which inevitably will be tested. The question is, which part of that resistance do we test? Do we test up as high as the 35K, or do we just go to 28K? I think if we start to get to 28K, and it depends how we get there, as mentioned, if you see price grinding like this, then I say we're probably going to go much higher. Because everyone's going to start trying to short that, right? So you got shorts that are built up here, probably going to have more shorts, more shorts, more shorts, more shorts, and that creates a big liquidity pool which can be captured and have price sent upwards. So at the moment, I think momentum is towards the upside. Ultimately, we are still range bound. You cannot deny that. And just to remind everybody, remind all of you, what we're looking for is the potential of another deviation, which we saw over here on the bottom, but towards the upside. How high will that deviation be? Let me know in the comments. How high will that deviation be? Why is 𝗟𝗲𝗿𝗍𝗍 laughing at me? You want to tell me? ANKR12C? No more balls to squeeze. Ouch. Okay, let's carry on over here. I now want to go into the altcoins. So start letting me know what altcoins you want to look at. Please also give the video a like. Let me actually see. What did you guys do yesterday? 2.7K. That is, I shouldn't have done a show today. How many likes do we have, Josh, on today's show? 403 with 2,005 people. I mean, that is an ultimate slap in the face. Should I even come back to work tomorrow? You guys know what to do. If you want your altcoins, you know what to do. And yes, this is bribery and blackmail. Okay, let's move on, guys. I'm going to go through the alts quick. Let's start going through. I'm just going to go through the list. Actually, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start from the bottom, because usually we start from the top and we run out of time. So let's go from the bottom. Okay, let's take a look at everything here. So kind of caught within the mid-range. You can see over here. Can tighten these up. This is PERP. Okay, PERP is holding above the mid-range. Mark it outright. All you need to do, guys, everything is still pretty much within a range. This is one of the easiest ways to trade, especially when you are range bound. All you want to do is you want to mark out the stickiest points, right? So you got all these stop and reversal candles, failed to get through, rejected, 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 rejected. Probably that's your range high. Mark it off. You just mark it off. It doesn't have to be perfect, more or less. Mark it off. Range high. Mark off your range low. Grab your fib tool. Some of you don't actually know this, so I'm going to show you over here. You grab your fib tool. Then what you want to do is you want to change it to what I call a range tool. How do you do that? Just copy those settings. Very easy. You go into your tool. You write 0, 0.25. That means you're going 25% of the way through the range. 0.5 is 50% of the way. That marks your mid-level. 0.75 is 75%, and then the 1 is the top. Okay, so if you have a look at that now, the way I've just given it, and you mark that out, you can see that is your mid-range, right? So look at how price reacted over there. Rejection, 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 pushes through, falls back down, big wick candle, rejection. It's a sticky area. It's an important level. If mid-range holds, then you know that you're operating within the top half. So this is applicable for any crypto that you look at. I'm going to clean it up because I actually want to show you one more thing over here. Let's put this, just using this chart as an example for you now. Let's see. Okay. Pink zone. Let's change it like that. Okay, let's take this off. So when you're trading, this is what you want to think of. Okay, you want to think of discount zones and premium zones. So this is ultimately your discount zone. Anytime that price comes here, discount zone, discount zone. You now need to see if price must prove itself to you. Is it going to hold and gain acceptance above the mid-range? If it can convincingly do that, then potentially this zone becomes your new discount zone. Otherwise, anytime that you approach the range highs, this is your premium zone. You don't want to be buying at a premium, right? You want to be buying at a discount and you want to be selling at a premium. That is the way that you trade the range. Now, I know a lot of you probably know this, but I also know a lot of you don't know it. So I thought, let me just mention it anyway, because where else are you going to learn it? Let me know in the comments if that helps. If you learn something, all I ask, it's all you guys can do for me. Just give me a like. Hit the like button on this video. Okay, next. Okay, VELA. VELA is a new token. It's a DEX. I think it could be something pretty good. I have been dollar cost averaging into it. You can't tell too much on this chart because obviously there's not much history, right? I'm buying this on MEXC at the moment. You can get it on DEXs as well. Next, I wanted to talk about Blur. How interesting is this? I actually want to have a look at this. Let's see. What is the drawdown over there? Boom, nailed it. I don't know if you guys remember. I told you that there's a general rule when you have a new coin or an IPO, for example. So when a company goes public and they launch on a brokerage and you're able to trade it, what you want to do is you never want to buy the first day. Okay, this is what happens on the first day. You can treat crypto the same way. Look at that massive wick to the upside. What you want to do is you want to wait for 50% drawdown. It happens almost every single time, guys. When Coinbase launched, I never bought it. I said I'm going to wait minimum 50% drawdown before I even consider entering, and then I'd start to dollar cost average. So look at that from the highs that were set. Usually it launches, it always rallies. A lot of hype. And I said from top to bottom, at least 50% drawdown. So look at that. Where did it go? 68%. So you could have waited for Blur. Just keep that in mind. I hope that's useful to you. Write that down. It's an alpha pack show today for you, all for free. Just make sure that you write that down and remember that. It helped me a lot once I heard that for the first time. Next, here you have ANKR. Okay, ANKR, you can see the big reaction off of the range low over there. So this range low seems to be holding. If you are in this trade, remember you're approaching the mid-range of this range. Yes, there's broader ranges, right? So you have the broader range, the range high, range low, but ultimately you're just working from level to level. Level to level, if you had to mark out the ranges using the FIB tool again, let's see what you get. So isn't that interesting? Let's grab this. Look over here. Where does that line up with? This zone over here, that is your mid-range. And I'm just showing you, look at how this works. Very interesting, right? Rejection came down, big breakthrough, tries to hold it, fails, so bounces, rejection, comes all the way back down, big push up. This one didn't really work on that move over here, but will it reject again? You want to be careful if you are long on something like this, take your profits there. Okay, let's start moving a bit quicker through these. Here you got X2Y2, one of Arthur Hayes's big picks. This is an NFT coin or exchange, I think, something like that. It's an NFT market, and similar to Blur, you right at the range lows, you would be looking for a big push up towards that 13 cents level. If you are taking these trades, right, anything like this, you're looking for your trade setup to be as follows. Entry, take most of your profits at the mid-range. I always found that to be useful. Leave a little bit to ride towards the top over there. Stop simply goes below those previous lows like that. There you go. Simple trade for you. And all these trades are for free in the Discord. For free, guys. Okay. Not much history over there. Let's leave that one. Okay. This is FXS. What is FXS? Do you know, Josh? Frax. Okay, there was something about Frax going on recently as well. So Frax has come into the bottom of that range. You can see the nice and strong bounce off of that zone. So held it as support. If it comes back down over here, you have a very clear trade with a nice invalidation below that wick, looking to trade that back towards the top over there. Okay, Astroport. Okay, let's forget that one. Saying I didn't say that. Next, Alice. Alice almost hit the bottom of the range, currently pushing up towards the top over here. If it can get above there, then you have a bigger move higher. Next, Engine coin. Okay, deviation below the range low. Obviously, this was a bigger deviation over here. So you can see each sell-off within the market is becoming smaller and smaller. That's another important point that I want to quickly mention and really drive home towards you guys with. It's regarding the magnitude of the sell-offs, right? So if you look at the sell-offs that have taken place with each major event, we obviously had the FTX collapse, we had Luna, 3AC. We're just getting whacked, right? Over and over and over again with bigger and bigger negative news. So FUD. Each time the sell-offs are becoming less and less. That's showing you that there's a shift within the market. This is why I think that it's best to be looking for upside. Yes, it can be a relief rally, but there's a real potential that the market is starting to shift now. And if you can see it in the altcoins as well, you can see how some of these things are starting to put in smaller sell-offs and bigger bounces. Okay, Mana. No Man's Land, I don't know, I wouldn't really touch that. Soul just bounced off of the range lows, maybe a bit too late. Yeah, I don't know, maybe a bit too late on that one. Let's see, ApeCoin. Okay, ApeCoin is reclaiming its range lows. Yes, you can, of course, tighten this up a lot. So you have a much better picture over here. This is actually not such a bad one. Calculate your risk. You'd be going long here with a stop below. Of course, when you take these trades, you want to get as close to your invalidation point as possible, right? So if that's your invalidation, the closer you can enter to there, the less risk you have. So if you start to see a sweep down like that, you have another chance to get in, targeting towards mid-range and range high. And what you want to do is you want to zoom in as well. When I look like this is how I do my trading, right? I go through all these charts. I look for what is near the range low or what is near the range high, and I trade at those extremities. Once I see prices in that extremity, so let's say I looked at this a couple of days ago, I would zoom in. I'd look at this on the 4-hour chart or maybe the hourly chart, and I would say, hey, as soon as this starts to reclaim, I'm going to put in my entry. And then boom, you got the big push up over here. And then candle comes back down, stop loss below, and there's your entry. Remember, you calculate your position size, right? If price moves against you, it's going to move 19% against you. That means you can't go in with your whole account. You're going to lose 20% of your account. You're just placing small bets, many small bets, and then some of these bets will play out. As long as your risk to reward is above a 1 to 3 and your hit rate is, let's say, even 55%, you're going to win in the long run. Okay, Ultra. Nah, let's skip Ultra. IMX. Okay, IMX I think has run quite hard. This one is potentially a short. It's one of the only ones that are potentially a short that I've seen, because you do have the underside resistance over there. Look at that, those wicks coming into there. If you do get a bit of a higher push up, you do also have this trend line. So maybe you deviate above that, come back down. That one would actually be a short. Okay, Vulcan Forged, not really worth looking at. Next, Super. Okay, Super also came near the range low, not worth taking a trade on. GALA. Okay, here we go. GALA hit the first target towards the downside. I had downside targets on this. Now it's come back into the underside resistance. Probably wouldn't go long on this either. If anything, I'd be looking for a short trade on GALA. Sandbox. Okay, in the middle of nowhere, not really worth it. That's measured against wrapped ETH, so not worth looking at. Hex. Are there hexagons here? I can see there's already the Hex, HODL, Stake, Hex, XYZ. You guys and your YouTube names over here. But in all fairness, Hex has had a massive pump. It's reclaimed key levels. All of this was resistance. One of the reasons this may be happening is because people want to capitalize on the airdrop, right? If you own Hex, you're going to get Pulse Hex. You get a copy of your Hex on the Pulse chain network once it launches. So one reason is because Richard Hart has been hinting that version 3 of Pulse chain is coming along sterlingly well, as they would say in the UK. And therefore, people are probably buying up Hex, trying to capitalize on that airdrop. So if you, I actually did sacrifice as well for such a weird thing to say, sacrifice for Pulse Chain and Pulse X. You will get a copy of any ERC20 token that's in your MetaMask wallet. Pretty much everyone, even if you didn't sacrifice, you will get that copy on Pulse Chain, so you can go interact with the chain. Okay, next, Litecoin. Litecoin is coming up towards the mid-range over here. Ocean. Okay, Ocean is reclaiming its mid-range, but this is an important level. As long as it can hold over here, there is a potential that it's going to make its way up to 64 cents. Render. I think there is a render trade if you go and have a look in the Discord. So I'm going to leave that one for you to look at in the Discord. A0. A0 is something that I'm just looking at fundamentally. I've been buying it or dollar cost averaging into this one on KuCoin. It's the best exchange that I could find that it has. And you can pretty much see just an accumulation zone over here. It is maintaining the higher lows. That's all that I want to see. It's a longer term play. Compound. Oh, this was such a nice trade. Look at that. Perfect. So this is an example, guys. Let's say hypothetically, you're looking at your chart. You could see the key level and price is coming into that zone. What you do is then you'd zoom in. You can see this candle is giving signs that it's a major reversal in place. So you would just set your stop loss below there. You wouldn't have been stopped out. Yes, you would have got heavily tested, but following that is a big, big move. That was 30% towards the upside. So nice trade there on compound. Okay, the graph. Graph has just reclaimed a key level as well. Let's see if it can hold above. Any pullbacks into that zone, just kind of zoom in like I've shown you and wait for a secondary bottom to form. So something like this. If you see it come back into the zone, watch for something like that to form. Quickly put your stop below there. That's an opportunity to potentially go long. Next, Luxo. I think I saw something about Luxo yesterday. I don't know what it was. Price-wise, what is it doing? Okay, just range bound, coming back towards major underside resistance. In relation to Bitcoin, this you can see this is from the bull market. So this is like Bitcoin hitting 30K. Probably wouldn't be buying it into that. Rune. Okay, Rune has not run at all. You can see deviation. So this could be one to put on your watch list, right? Deviation, potential deviation. Again, what you then want to do is you want to zoom in. So you want to zoom into this price action over here. Let's quickly do it. See if there's anything here. Okay, more or less. I understand that it's not a perfect trend line, but I'd rather be more aggressive on this trend line. So I'd be looking, you can, if you want to be really conservative, you'd be looking at a trend line like that. And to confirm the deviation, you'd be waiting for price to get through like that. And then that would be your signal to go long. I would rather go more aggressive just because of the way that the market is moving at the moment. I'd rather go with something like that, wait for push through that level, hold above the range high. So like this, that could be an opportunity. Stops would go below the previous swing low, targeting all the way up to the mid-range. And then after that, the range high. So there's a trade for you, Rune. We'll make sure to put that in the Discord for you. Next, Energy Web token, also a longer term hold of mine. No man's land, forget it. Secret Network. Okay, same thing, near the range low. Okay, guys, you get the picture. I'm going to go through this very quickly now. I don't want to drag it on too long. Let's finish this. I'm just going to snap through all of this quickly for you to see. You can see in relation, if you see on my chart that it's near key level, consider going and looking at it on your own chart. So there, sushi. Okay, sushi could be a long, short-term long, but not the perfect one in my opinion. Okay, Lido. I'm on the 4-hour chart. Let's just move back onto the daily. Okay, Lido is reclaiming range high. As long as it can hold above this level, then you could actually potentially go higher. Not too much history on this coin, so it's hard to relate or look at. Here you go, ENS, Ethereum naming service. That's what this one is. Just bounce off the range low. If it comes back towards that area, you know what to do. There's your opportunity. Looks rare. Looks rare also just bounced off a key level. But what you can view with something like looks rare is this is potentially a big deviation back into what would be the main range. This could potentially be a second deviation. And then the main range being this, right? This whole area is your main range. So keep that in mind when you look at something like that. Casper, this one did very well. Phenomenal. Just being level to level. I just keep drawing in lines, right? So if I see a line hold and it holds above here, then I put a line. Gets back above this one, I drew this line in. Got above here, drew the line in. I drew that in way back once you had this big push over here, expecting that this would hold. And there it did. It held. If it can start to convincingly, this is probably going to be where your next one's going to come in as major resistance. If it can get above here, then obviously it's going to continue on higher. This is a fundamentally sound coin. Casper, go check it out. Next, gains. Ugly. I'm not going to even look at that one. GMX. Also relatively new, similar to what I just showed you on Casper. You're just working from level to level. That level hold, push through. Is this level going to hold? We marked off the next level. If this level holds, moving up to the top of the range at 82, break through that, and it just stutter steps up. DYDX. Okay, we ran a nice short on this one. Beautiful short. Remember, I told you take most of your profits at the mid-range. You had the complacency bounce, so blow off top. complacency bounce, targeting mid-range and potentially all the way low. This could still go lower, by the way. Obviously, if the market goes down, this could still be, so you have high, lower high, back down, and you can finish that off. But most of the profits would have been taken here. This one was given in the daily candle newsletter as well as the Discord. Okay, Dogecoin. Quickly see Dogecoin. Same as everything, guys, bouncing off of its range low. Chainlink, the best stable coin on earth, coming into mid-range. Solana. Solana's got nothing. What's going on here? I feel like I lost the information on Solana. Okay, Solana. Key level, very key level. I would say if Solana can start to break through this, it will become quite bullish. Solana has a lot of work to do, guys. Can you see that? Can you see that resistance there? So basically, mega bullish on Solana if it gets above there. Mega bullish. Break above, get to 30, come back down, hold this level at about 25, super bullish. Then you can say you're going to target level to level, right? First level, second level, third level, and potentially higher from there. What do? You buy support and you sell resistance. What is this? Let me know in the comments. What is this? What should you do? All right. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to skip the rest. There you go. We've pretty much been through everything. It was like 2 days ago I went through the other ones. I hope that helped. Let's quickly finish off on Bitcoin. Super Guppy indicator, EMA ribbons, exponential moving average ribbons. It uses a whole conglomerate of them. You can see that they are green once again. This then would be seen as a massive, massive bear trap. So bears got shaken out of their position, flipped gray, told you to get out of your position. On this candle, it reflips green and blue, meaning that is your chance to get back in. And if you're holding this for a swing trade, we ran the statistics on this. Here it is. Where is the statistics? Here you go. We ran the statistics on this. On average, this gives you about almost an 80% hit rate, which is pretty damn good. Obviously, the last signal flipped back down, but you didn't actually lose any money, so it would still be considered a positive signal. Your upside move after the Super Guppy flips green on average has been 171%. That would probably take you into the 50K region. So let's just take it easy. We don't need to focus on that. The point is that you do get some substantial upside following a flip of the Super Guppy. Okay, the elephant in the room. Yes, of course, we got this over here. We are watching it. I've given you the levels now. Long term, as long as you're above the 200 dark blue moving average, as well as the 200 exponential moving average, the white one. This was really, as I just mentioned to you, you get your, in the lower range, your discount zone and your premium zone. This was your discount zone. Okay, discount zone, discount zone, discount zone. That was the opportunity right over there. You spring through. As long as that level holds for swing traders and investors, that is your opportunity to continue to hold your positions long. Now, I do want to see this get above very, very soon. If you zoom in very quickly on the daily using the ranges, look over here on the left-hand side. We did close yesterday below. So in theory, you can move this onto a line chart. In theory, we range bound. Secondly, this is, just grab the pen again. In theory, this is still technically a lower high until such time as we close above. So you really want to start to see closing candles above the range high at 25,275. As soon as you see that, people are going to start to go long aggressively. Keep that in mind. If you see pullbacks, where are you looking for? Potentially you're looking for the 75% of the way through the range. That's coming at about 23,500. Your absolute worst case scenario is if you see Bitcoin go all the way down towards the mid-range. That is also a possibility. Still want to see a bigger deviation though. Next. But the market doesn't have to do what I want it to do. Of course, I'm sure you guys all understand that. So zooming in on the 4-hour chart, level to hold, pink box over here. Don't really want to see price come below that wick that we have. The wick that was set 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago, that was set at a price level of 24,092. 24,092. Let's put in a line over here. Boom, that one over there, 24,092. I kind of want to see price, if you want boost to obviously continue to run this, you want to see this consolidate within this region without breaking below, and then that would give another chance to break on towards the upside. So that's what I'm watching over there. Guys, remember, if you are from the UK or Europe, consider depositing Great British Pounds using your bank account. Test out their system over there. You can win up to $6,000 and there's no fees. Make sure you give the video a like, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Join the Discord. I know most of you are already in the Discord, but if you're not, get into the Discord. Josh, how many likes do we have? We broke 1,000. Okay, 2. So half of you didn't want to give the video a like. That's okay. See how it is. Tomorrow I'll be giving you all incorrect calls, and I'm going to get you wrecked. Just kidding. I won't do that. Much love, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Have an absolutely stellar day, and cheers for now.